Hello and welcome back, crafty friends. I decided to jump into the Follow a Sketch February challenge, and here is the sketch for today. And I am documenting my grandson's first Halloween in 2023. And so here I have, it was a cut apart card, and I decided I wanted to use it as a frame for the smaller picture. But it didn't work to put that little part I'm fussy cutting at the top. So I decided to put it at the bottom, even though that little word there is upside down, and I will fix that later by putting something over it. And so here I am just manning my pictures. I decided to use another 4x6 cut apart card as a mat, and then I did use some of the solids that come with the collection. I believe this was something 31. And I did fussy cut that border piece that says boo and has the lacy spider web there at the bottom as kind of a shelf for my pictures. And here I put some foam behind my picture so it would stand up. Actually, the pictures are on the layout, and I did put foam under one of the pictures. And then I also put the foam adhesive behind this fussy cut banner piece. And then I decided that my background needed a little texture, so I did use the Tim Holtz texture paste, and it's the black opaque. So it comes this color. And I had an old Prima stencil that I picked up on a free table at a crop probably last fall or summer. Somebody brought a bunch of stencils and put it on the give-take table, and this is one of them that I picked up, and I thought it looked maybe like a good one that I could use for a background for Halloween. And since it was a 6x6 stencil, I just basically covered all four of the quadrants of the paper, and I didn't really concentrate on the middle because I knew that would be covered up by the main middle piece with my pictures and that banner. So when I do mix media like this, that I do like to create this whole, glue all of my top piece together so I can bring it in and double check the placing of where I want my mixed media to go. So I did build that, the main focus of my page, up in layers and stuck it all together so I can just pull everything in one big piece instead of bringing all the bits and pieces and laying them out and checking my spacing and then wiping them all off my page. And so that just really helps a lot in checking to make sure that the mixed media that I'm creating is going to make the impact on the layout that I'm hoping that it will. So here I'm finishing up that final quadrant and getting that mixed media, and then I'm going to go into adding some of the embellishments that I add on top of my main piece that I'm adding with my photos in that fussy cut border. So here I bring it back in one last time just to check the placing, and that seems to look good. And here I'm going to show you the product, the texture paste. So I have gone through my Halloween embellishments, and I've picked out a few things that accompanies this collection that they were not from the same collection as the, what was it, Simple Vintage 31, I think. And so what I'm doing now is that I've been trying to focus on pulling out some of my ribbons and twine and things that I've had on my stash for a while. And so I also had these old Halloween stick pins. That one that I'm working with there is like a little gray ghost, and then I add two more here pretty soon, which is a bat and a pumpkin. I believe those were old Making Memories products from years and years ago. And so here, this was, I think, an old. This might be either October Afternoon or it might be a Jenny Bolin vintage looking chipboard button. And I tied some black embroidery thread through it. And here I'm attempting to get a bow tied. And I do finally succeed and get it worked out there the size that I want it to. And so I do add a little bit of that tulle to that first stick pin, and now I'm going to go ahead and start sticking down my large bits here, and I do add both tape runner and liquid adhesive to make sure that it's going to stick on top of that mixed media that I have that's a little bumpy. And so there, that pumpkin, that is the piece that I am using to hide the words that were upside down on that fussy cut little piece where I put my picture underneath. And so I kind of slowed this down a little bit so you could see what I was doing with these stick pins and the tulle. Basically, I was having troubles tying the knot around the stick pin, so I just tied a knot, and then I'm just sticking my pin down through it and just trim it off to size. And then I did either stick it within some foam, or I just put an embellishment over the top to just help stick that each of those down to the layout. So there, I just stuck that one behind that die cut circle, and then the other one is going to go behind this chipboard piece. So I stick it to the back since it was a sticker, and then I believe I did add, here I add the liquid adhesive to hold all those pieces together. And just making sure that's stuck down good, and then I did add some of the adhesive brads around my layout. I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did get 5 on there eventually. Right now you only see 3. And so I used my label for my journaling, which really was just Halloween 2023. And I add that to my picture, and then I did decide to pull out a few more of my ribbons and trims to add to this page. That I had an orange and black ribbon, and I have a solid darker orange that is a good coordinating color. It's not this exact orange, and I do add little borders with that ribbon here at the top and at the bottom, just to add a little bit more design to the page. Here I felt like there was like a strange blank space between the label and that brad there, so I did add a tiny piece of ribbon there. And then, so I cut 2 little strips, one there, and I used my old trusty Fisker's decal edge scissors to make it look, without actually ripping the paper, that I just decided to cut it, since I hadn't ripped any other papers on this layout. That's what I like to do to give it a textured edge instead of just cutting it straight. And so I'm just kind of getting my pieces picked out here for the top and bottom embellishment areas. And it does, by putting this at the bottom more towards the right, and then the little section at the top is more towards the left, that gives a diagonal vision to the layout to kind of help move your eyes from the top to the bottom of the layout. And so I did use some tear tape to attach that orange ribbon to the page, and then I used my liquid glue over the top of that. And then at the last minute, I think I added this, the thin orange ribbon as well. Yeah, I had a little bit of that left. So, and as you can see that my paper did move on top of that ribbon. So I do find a solution for that here towards the end as well. So I do use the liquid glue to stick that part down. And then I will have the brad over the top to kind of help secure that tiny little piece of ribbon as well. So I get those put down, and then I'm going to add a few two more of the adhesive brads at the top and the bottom. Here I'm adding a star sticker, and because of the bulk I do add the liquid glue to both of those as well. And then I move to the top, and I'm going to put an adhesive brad up there as well, and then I do come in with a word sticker that says chills and thrills. And again, add some liquid adhesive to make sure it's going to stay. Put that one back down, and then I decide to come in with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and it adds a touch more silver to the layout, because the brads have the silver and the stick pins do too. Oh, I guess before I do the tiny attacher, that I decide to ink the edges with, I think I use the Tim Holtz black soot. And in the distress, I add his name with some letter stickers from my stash. And here's where I'm adding the tiny attacher just to give some extra support for those ribbons. So that pretty much wraps up this layout. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.